We have the basic auth form, but I don't want to use the default blue color. I also don't want to use the default button theme. Instead, I want to set my own themes, and for this, in the main Dart file here, in the theme data, which is configured, we can change the colors and also some other styles we want to set as a default. For example, the primary swatch here, I don't want to use colors blue here, but colors pink. Yeah, I like that pink color here. In addition, I want to set a background color, a default background color of that same pink. I also want to set an accent color, and that will be this deep purple, which I think mixes nicely with that pink. I also want to let Flutter know that this purple color is a very dark color, and that any contrasting color on this purple background should therefore be a bright color. And we can do this by setting the accent color brightness to brightness.dark. We don't need to do this on the primary swatch. There, Flutter should derive this automatically, but we should do this here to avoid that we end up with black text on purple, for example. And I also want to set up a specific button theme, which every button will get by default. And to do this, I basically want to inherit from the default button theme and then just override some parts. For that, we can use the button theme constructor here and use the auth constructor, so not the default constructor, but this named constructor, and pass in the regular context, and then call copy with. And this allows you to then override some of the keys and use the other default values. For example, I will set the button color to colors pink, so that every button by default has that pink main color. I'll set the text theme to button text theme.primary. This should make sure that we have the right contrast color. And I'll also change the default shape of buttons. For this, we can set this shape configuration and then set this to rounded rectangle border. Use this constructor here. And to rounded rectangle border, we can pass a border radius argument. And there we can set the default border radius every button should have, with the border radius constructor, to be precise, with the circular named constructor this provides, and then set this to 20 maybe. And if we do that and save that, you see now I have a rounded button here by default, and I have this pink background color, which looks quite nice. Now this button still has a blue text, and we can change this by going to the auth form. And then on this flat button, I'll change the text color to theme auth context primary color. And this doesn't look too bad. Now it would be nice to also have a working auth form, which collects the user inputs, which validates the user inputs, and where we also can switch between login and sign up mode. Now, you can try this on your own, because thus far, that's nothing we haven't learned. Of course, you shouldn't yet also use the Firebase SDK to send this to a server, but collecting and validating the input, that is something you definitely are able to do. We'll do it together in the next lecture.